Surely what I'm going to demonstrate in today's video will shock the world of football when it comes to Chelsea's less sexy, less blockbuster midfielder Conor Gallagher. Oh my giddy aunt, my word, holy cow. This kid is putting up some insane numbers that I want to show you today. I also want to talk about how Chelsea could have to pay Man City more money for Cole Palmer should he make his England debut over this international break. And Nizar Kinsella of The Standard has written a little bit more on the striker situation. So yeah.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Thank you for joining me today here on Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that. And yes, welcome along. Some positive stuff to talk about today. You are welcome to become part of the community by subscribing, only if you want to. But should you choose to do so, hit the bell notifications icon. And thank you for dropping a like on the video. Let's start off with Conor Gallagher. Rightly getting a lot of praise from people who are analysing Chelsea, but perhaps people don't know how good Conor has been this season. Of course, he's was put in the shop window to be sold in the summer. Much like Ian Maatsen, Trevoh Chalobah, Chelsea were like, yeah, do you want him? Tottenham, do you want him? Come get him, Conor Gallagher. And I saw this stat from Squawker about it. Conor Gallagher has one possession in the attacking final third, I was going to say, more times than any other player in Europe's top, not 5, 7 leagues. So in easier leagues where there's like a behemoth team that's, eats everyone alive. 7 top leagues, he's won possession back 20 times, which is more than any other player in the 7 top leagues. Now this is really important because winning back possession in the final third is what makes good teams good. I've referenced it before when Thomas Tuchel took over Chelsea. He was obsessed with that. He kept referencing it, the high turnovers. Managers love it. They love it when their players can do it, and Mauricio Pochettino will be elated that Conor Gallagher is doing this so well and is the best, essentially the best in Europe at doing this. But wait, there's more. I mean, we knew he was putting up better defensive numbers than both Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, and in some instances, better than both of them combined. But what I want to do for this is show you a comparison graphic from Squawker of a player who cost £105 million. So not our 2 over £100 million players, who respectively cost over £100 million each, but a different one in Declan Rice. Now, look, Declan Rice is an amazing player. He is. He's worth the money, I think, 105 million. I'm an England fan. He's a staple in the England team. I wanted him to come to Chelsea, but Squawker put up this image that I'm going to show you now. It's a comparison. They played nearly the same minutes, 124 to Conor's 1,037, 1,024. Conor Gallagher is 1 year younger than Declan Rice. They've both played 12 games. Now, Opta Performance Index is slightly edges Declan Rice here, but look at these metrics. So the on the right is Conor Gallagher, on the left is Declan Rice. Ball recoveries. Conor Gallagher wipes the floor with Declan Rice. Granted, maybe Arsenal have a little bit more of the ball. He's got more shots on target. He's got over double the chances created than Declan Rice. He's got less forward passes, but I think maybe he's plays a bit more forward than Declan sometimes. He's got way more duels contested. He's got more tackles made. He's got more take-ons completed. He's got nearly double the aerial duel success. He just loses out on ground duel success by probably, about a score of 1%, which is absolutely nothing. Declan Rice has made a lot more clearances, but again, that's not necessarily the good thing. It just means you're out, at the back, hoofing the ball rather than interceptions. And speaking of interceptions, Conor Gallagher has made more than Declan Rice, as you can see there. Now, I'm not saying Conor Gallagher is a better player than Declan Rice, but oh my God, what a player he is becoming. As you can see, his offensive stats there are better than Declan Rice, but so many of his defensive ones are better as well. And I don't want to just say this is all down to Conor being amazing. I think it's down to Pochettino. he's found this like amazing balance in the midfield that works with Caicedo and Enzo, and the more it settles, the longer we have it, the more excited we can be in terms of being consistent performers and taking on the big boys like we have of late. Like, I've referenced recently Chelsea outplayed Liverpool, should have won. Chelsea outplayed Arsenal, definitely should have won. We gave up a 2-0 lead. We outplayed Tottenham in what was a weird game, but, even when we had 11 versus 11, we were outplaying them for a spell after, Doogie tackle. And, we went toe-to-toe with the treble winners. Man City, Guardiola saying, a draw is fair. Both teams could have won it in their own ways. I'm not going to say we were better than City, but we were certainly as good as Man City, which is incredible, really, considering we're still developing and they're the finished article. That bodes incredibly well for Chelsea. And a lot of it is performances like that from Conor Gallagher. Now, Conor Gallagher has got 18 months left on his contract. These numbers, we have to extend this guy. That is absolutely incredible numbers. Like I said, in pre-season, I would be sad to see Conor go, but, if he goes, I'd sort of understand, and he'd bring a lot of money, pure profit, and, he's never really, he's been so consistent in terms of his effort and professionalism and application and loves Chelsea, but if he just doesn't fit, then, hopefully he can go somewhere, play really well, and, keep his England spots and everything, and it will make Chelsea a lot of money for the books and pure profit. But, he's been vital. He's been crucial, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to show you that. It started with him having more, high turnovers, most possession won in the final third. Any other player in the top 7 leagues. And this brother is absolutely on flames. Let me know what you think. Comment down below about Conor Gallagher. Let's talk about Cole Palmer. Right, the Metro writes this. Man City will be owed a further payment by Chelsea if Cole Palmer makes his England debut in the coming days. Of course, he's been called up to England. We've got qualifiers against Malta and North Macedonia. Despite already qualifying, what is Southgate going to do? Is he going to experiment because we've got the opportunity to do so? Of course, Maddison, Wilson and Dunk all withdrew. So Palmer, Rico Lewis and Ezri Konsa were brought in. So Chelsea bought Cole Palmer from Man City for £40 million. £40 million, which... yes, everyone was quite rightly reflected as a sort of good deal for both clubs involved. Pure profit is a really good thing for the selling club for academy players, for a player they're not using. So us sort of selling Lewis Hall for, nearly 32 million quid for 18-year-old. It's just such a good, the buying club Newcastle. You might say, what, you're buying an academy player that's made a few appearances for Chelsea, who finished 12th or 10th, wherever he finished, for up to 32 million quid. But he's great for them, and he'll be a good Premier League player. And similarly, Cole Palmer for Chelsea, 40 million quid. But yeah, of course, the add-ons were 2.5 million pounds as well. A report coming from The Sun is one of those add-ons, which is probably, if it's fragmented 2.5 million, that's even better for Chelsea. It's not like, you win the Prem or he plays a certain amount of games, you have to pay 2.5 million. He's obviously done a few add-ons. But yeah, if he makes his England debut, his full England debut, which, by the way, when Chelsea and Man City were hashing this deal out, they were probably thinking, in a couple of years, maybe, senior debut. Not friggin' 11 games into the season. But that's how good Cole Palmer's been. He's been amazing. Chelsea have been amazing lately. Things are starting to click. The big headline, if you will, is the striker situation, because Nkunku's coming back. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Nkunku. Bon anniversaire, mon frère. Hope he has a wonderful day, and it seems like he's nearly ready to go in the Chelsea team, and he's, like I said in recent videos, the pressure on him will be so much less now we've scored 8 goals in 2 games. He'll come in and to a good feeling, and hopefully we don't have to rush him in, and hopefully he can play well, interchange, come off the bench a few times until he finds his place systemically into Pochettino's Chelsea side. Jackson scoring goals now. What's he got? 6 Premier League goals in 11 games, more than a goal every other game. Yes, obviously context is required for that, but still, he could either be a really good second striker, but he could be great. How great could he be? We don't know. He's not long been a centre forward, by the way. He's still sort of settling into that role while settling into a new country, while settling into a new club, while this club is settling into a new squad and settling into a new manager. It's like an Ouroboros eating its own tail. Shout out to those of you who watched Loki recently. What a mental ending. So there's lots to consider. We don't know what we have. Breuer will probably be thinking, guys, I'm here too, and I'm a highly rated striker. But it's not going away. The Victor Osimhen, the Ivan Toney's, the elite striker that could even be bought as soon as January, which is a matter of weeks away. It's a hot topic. It is very exciting, intriguing, and interesting. And Nizar Kinsella has written an article on The Standard about it. Chelsea confident. Victor Osimhen keen to join them amid Ivan Toney and Antonio Nusa interest. So we'll talk about Nusa as well in a second. Yeah, I did a video yesterday speaking about how, Osimhen, Chelsea are in constant contact with Osimhen. Maybe this will be an extension of that. Let's find out. Osimhen is open to a move to Chelsea, but the Blues may have to wait till the summer, of course, to prize the Nigeria forward away from Napoli. That may be okay for Chelsea for the aforementioned reasons of Jackson scoring and Nkunku coming back. A new striker is a top transfer priority for Chelsea, and Osimhen has emerged as a key target. So interesting, despite this uncertainty with these talented forwards that we have, they still think it's a striker is a big target. It's a priority target. Interesting. The Blues have been encouraged that the 24-year-old would be keen on a move to Stamford Bridge. He described Chelsea legend Didier Drogba as one of his football idols and likes the idea of playing in the Premier League. But Napoli value Osimhen at well over 100 million, and their president Aurelio De Laurentiis is a notoriously tough negotiator and is unlikely to sell him in Napoli. To sell him in January from Napoli. We've negotiated with De Laurentiis before. He hated when we took Maurizio Sarri off him, despite them already hiring Carlo Ancelotti as a new coach. They had two coaches on the books, so we were like, yeah, we'll take the one that you're paying and not actually having working. They wanted money. We ended up buying Jorginho for an inflated price, which meant Man City weren't going to buy him. They wanted him. Mikel Arteta, incidentally, big fan of Jorginho. Which surprises no one how he's ended up at Arsenal, of course, under the management of Mikel Arteta. But yeah, so Man City said, all right, well, we're not going to pay 55 million for Jorginho, when, he was worth 35, 40 million. It was actually kind of like an inflated price, so we'd get Sarri as well. Really, really tough. And all these years we tried to buy Koulibaly. They were like, 100 million. We were like, no. And then obviously eventually we got Koulibaly for 35 million, which seemed pretty good despite his age. But things didn't work out. Napoli, who were last crowned Italian champions for the first time since 1990, are struggling in Serie A and face a fight to qualify for the Champions League. Yeah, they got Rudy Garcia in charge and he might be sacked. Igor Tudor might take over, or even Walter Mazzari. Remember him? The Watford manager? They're really struggling at the moment. And they only lost what's the defender name? I went to Bayern. I've forgotten his name. But other than that, they kept all the superstars. Chelsea are still considering whether to move for a striker in January, and are expected to wait to at least mid-December, basically a month from now, to finalise their plans for the winter transfer window. The Blues are keeping options open, and it's likely to depend on the form of course, Jackson and Nkunku and Breuer, which are free options that can play up front in a campaign, a season where we have no European football. We are still in both cups though. After a difficult start to the season, Jackson scored a hat-trick, of course, his previous game to City, scored a really important goal against City. And Nkunku, of course, is a £52 million summer signing, is close to return, who is missing the start of the season with his knee injury, and there's a real excitement the impact he could have, and he's expected to return after this international break. Exciting. Cole Palmer is also in blistering form, having stepped up. Yeah, but Cole Palmer isn't a striker. Chelsea have interest in Brentford striker Ivan Toney. There is another potential option in Club Brugge. You meant to say Club Brugge? It's Bruges, but I think it's when you say the club, it's Club Brugge. Forward Antonio Nusa, though he is seen as more of a wide player. He's also 18, so I know we all get terribly excited about these young players. But yeah, he doesn't seem like the solution to this current problem. An 18-year-old wide forward who seems to love an assist. I think he's got 3 assists in 3 games or something, but no goals. I don't see that as a solution to our problems, though his name is going around the headlines. Osimhen, who scored 31 goals to fire Napoli to the Serie A title last season, is likely to be the best striker on the market, so Chelsea could be tempted to wait till next summer. United are also linked with Osimhen, but of course they've signed Rasmus Højlund for a lot of money. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a striker budget Man United have left. I mean, if they get rid of, what's his name, Martial, Højlund could be a second striker to Osimhen, but you don't have like an £80 million man as a second striker. You simply don't do it. And I know he hasn't scored a Prem goal yet in, 9 games, Højlund. I know that's funny banter. I actually think he looks really good, personally. He's just in a crap team. But yes, Osimhen is a proper centre forward. He will, profile-wise, probably, suit what Pochettino's trying to do. But Pochettino's been so vocal on how much he believes in Nico Jackson. Now, of course, you could just be saying this, like, why wouldn't you say it if there's a chance it might, help him publicly, rather than saying, nah, he's crap. But he's been really like, this guy could be so good. And maybe he can, right? Maybe he truly believes it, maybe he doesn't, but it can't hurt saying it, I guess. And maybe, if Chelsea said to them, to Pochettino that is, obviously this isn't something that was afforded to him when he was Tottenham manager, you can have both. You can have this developing young striker that you believe in Nicholas Jackson, and you can have Victor Osimhen to slam dunk into your side. If you think this is the guy that's going to do what you need, look at all the data, look at this comprehensive scouting, profile him. If you want him and you think he's going to fix this problem that we've got, you can have him, mate. And if Nico carries on playing good and plays better, play him instead of Osimhen, and let's become a good football team again. Chelsea of old had and I say of old, I mean like noughties, had loads of strikers. There was a season when we just had loads of strikers. So maybe it'll work. And Pochettino is the kind of guy that when we're losing, he starts pranging out and throwing loads of strikers on. So maybe he's playing a false 9 in one game, we'll be down a goal with 10 minutes to go, and he'll be like, strikers assemble, Nkunku, Breuer, Jackson, Osimhen, Avengers scene all running to defeat Thanos. And in this instance, Thanos is probably a low block Brentford kicking our ass. 2 Marvel references in one video. What a nerd! Alright. Lots to discuss today. Amazing stuff about Conor Gallagher. Let me know what you think. Thank you for liking and subscribing. The Bocam's still here. I'm still here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Turn the notifications bell on when you do subscribe, because I have a lot of subscribers, but a lot of people don't get notified. I upload, and you can change that by just pressing the bell. Alright, friends. I'll see you very soon, hopefully. Peace.